In this video, I'm going to be talking about the worst possible thing you can do if you were arrested for domestic violence for the first time and you are awaiting your court date. So hopefully you can avoid it. My name is Veronica. I am a criminal defense attorney here in California, and I help people put their criminal cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. And again, in this video, we are going to be discussing the worst thing that you can do if you've gotten arrested for domestic violence and you're awaiting your court date. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the surprisingly common thing that happens to people after they were arrested for domestic violence and they're awaiting their first court date, and that is get re-arrested. Now, before you turn this off and you think, look, that doesn't apply to me, the alleged victim is on my side, she wants to drop charges, she wants nothing to do with this. Look, I have handled hundreds of these cases. More than half of my cases are domestic violence. I know what I'm talking about, so stick with me and listen up. Okay, so you get into an argument, let's say, with your spouse. You end up getting arrested. You feel like, it really wasn't my fault. Maybe I'm a guy and that's why I got arrested. Or maybe I was just using self-defense. Or maybe they made up a lie about you and told the police, maybe not knowing that you were going to be arrested and that you would have this extremely high bond, but something negative happened in the relationship, right? So you bond out. Maybe they help you bond out even, but you bond out, you get home, and you still have had this big argument. And now you have had the trauma, and it is trauma, of going to jail, of being arrested, of being treated like a criminal when maybe you have no criminal history, you've never had any problems like this in your entire life. So now you have a court date coming up. Hopefully you're looking for an attorney, and hopefully you're looking for an attorney to contact the DA and try to get your charges dropped before the first court date. But the attention has turned kind of toward you. And maybe you were a jerk in this argument, right? But you're thinking, well, I need to help myself. I'm concerned about myself. I cannot have a criminal record. That is only natural. But what ends up happening are a few things. First of all, the other party, the alleged victim, can get mad at you because maybe you were a jerk. Maybe you said some bad things during that argument. Maybe you did do something wrong. Maybe you lost your temper. You did make a mistake. You did commit some domestic violence, maybe not to the level where the police are saying it happened, or maybe the other party did too, but you're the one who got arrested, so you feel victimized. Again, only natural, but that can end up really pissing off the other person. So what might happen again? Well, it could be something similar to what happened the first time. And whether it was a neighbor who ended up calling 911, whether you did, maybe the other party did, it may end up happening again. And here's something you should know. Maybe the first time that you got arrested, it was the other party who was hitting you, who was attacking you. And maybe you called 911, maybe the neighbor did, but you end up getting arrested. So another one of these incidents happens. Your spouse, your loved one, attacks you physically, and so you think, you know what, I'm going to call 911. I need to get my side of the story out there before this becomes a thing. I can't get arrested again. I'm going to make sure that they come out and that I don't get arrested. Maybe even I'll get her arrested this time because it was her fault to begin with. The problem is when the police show up, they're coming out to a similar situation as they came out for the first time. But the difference is that now you have a history of getting arrested for domestic violence. And when you have a history of any crime, but especially the same type of crime that they are investigating right now, the chances of them looking at the situation and arresting you again increase significantly. The second thing that unfortunately can happen is that the alleged victim, especially if they were lying the first time, maybe you were trying to break up with them and they called 911 and claimed that you were abusing them, they've now realized just how easy it is to get you arrested. So now they have all of this power. They know it and you know it. So this may not apply to your relationship, but if it is sort of a toxic relationship and this, you hear this and you think, okay, I can see that happening, be very careful. Because remember when I mentioned that before the first court date, in many of these domestic violence cases, if you have no criminal history and you get arrested and you get an attorney who can contact the DA before the first court date, give your side of the story, all the good things about you, many times we're able to persuade them to dismiss the charges, to not file any charges against you. but not if you were arrested for a second time. If you get arrested for a second time, it makes it so much more difficult to get either one of the cases dismissed. So the chances of you ending up with a criminal record because of this, or having to fight a case in court, increase exponentially. What can you do about this? You may need to leave the relationship. You may need to leave altogether. If you are married, if you're in a committed relationship and you want this to work, then I suggest starting couples therapy. And I'm just a lawyer. I'm not a relationship expert. But what I can tell you is that at minimum, the fact that you're attending couples therapy is going to help with your criminal case. That's something that your attorney can submit when they're contacting the DA and trying to get them to drop the charges. And if charges are filed, then the fact that you've been going to this therapy increases the chances that the DA will dismiss at that point. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you do have a domestic violence case in California and you're looking for an attorney, you can find my number down. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, like, ring the bell. And if you do have a criminal case in California that you're looking for help with, feel free to give me a call. You can find my number down below. You can also find a link there where you can set up a call with me.